Hogwarts Legacy DLC has been a pretty hot topic of discussion, and developers have clarified their position, saying they had no current plans. Then they come out and say something else. Then the president of WB Games has had some interesting comments as well. I'm going to break it all down for you right here at the beginning of the video so you don't have to go looking for my thoughts. Then I will discuss this with the live audience. So if you have not played Hogwarts Legacy yet, or you haven't looked at any of the sales records or the numbers, you might not wonder or be wondering if there's going to be DLC. Many of the people who have jumped into this game have combed over it. They've played every nook and cranny. They've done everything they possibly could. And from the beginning, the thought was, are they going to push this game to continue on with some sort of format of extra content or extra story, okay? In the wake of them saying they had no current plans at this moment for DLC, they clarified those comments, and then the president of WB Games has referred to the game with certain verbiage that I think is very telling about what they have planned for the franchise. I'm going to try to make sense of why they would sort of quickly deny plans for DLC, but then turn around and, in my mind, essentially confirm that there are plans. Now, I got this from GamesRadar.com. And according to them, speaking to IGN, Hogwarts Legacy game director Alan Tew said that ensuring a successful launch has meant that the developers had to have time to not really be thinking about DLC, just the game launching. He said, "We've been really heads down bringing Hogwarts Legacy to life, so at the moment, there are no plans for DLC. There are no current plans for DLC." Now, obviously, this was worded to leave room for DLC, right? At the moment, and no current plans. So you're sort of using temporal language. They're not writing it off entirely. They're not saying, yeah, there's absolutely no way we're going to be adding to this game. It's just not in the cards. This response, I think, led to lots of speculation. Why would they be so quick to shoot it down? Why would they be so quick to basically act like, yeah, no plans at the moment? And then this got response from the community. The community was basically saying, we really want DLC. We saw some comments on Reddit that said things like, I don't remember the last time a game hooked me the way Hogwarts Legacy did, and it's not a world I'm ready to let go of. Was really hoping for DLC. Someone said, I think because of how complete it was and how awesome it's been, people are just going to want more. I've 100%ed the game and I have nothing left to do, and I just want more of this world because of how good it was. I hope they change the plans in the future. Now, you'll notice these are players who have already played a lot and they're like, I want more. These are not people that are burned out at the end of playing. They're not experiencing open world fatigue. They're not saying, oh my gosh, I kind of burned myself out. They want more things, and fans, I think, have really committed to this game. They've soaked in the content, they've looked for secrets, and I think that we are sensing what I have been saying that I see all along: a game built to last. Many have looked at the absolutely stunning commercial success as a driver and a motivator for more content. According to Benji Sales on Twitter, citing a Variety article, Hogwarts Legacy has sold more than 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks. That gives it a colossal $850 million in revenue. So much for the pathetic boycott. With this level of commercial success, it would be weird to just sort of stop and be like, yep, we really enjoyed making that game, but we're moving on. Now, another developer weighs in to clarify the DLC comments, and this is when I think things start to get interesting, because if you're just going to say, listen, we don't really have any plans for DLC at the moment, you could just kind of leave it at that. Nobody really can do much with that statement other than analyze the fact that you're leaving room for DLC. There wasn't much to it, all right? And then this guy takes to Twitter and he says, a better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched half of our SKUs so far. SKU, S-K-U, like your SKUs or how you align things in your inventory, right? He's like, listen, we've only launched half of them. You got to remember, he's talking about the fact that it hasn't hit old gen in the Nintendo Switch yet. He says there are people out there who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. That's very interesting. You're sort of looking at the fact that it's not on the Nintendo Switch, it's not on old gen, and basically announcing DLC or talking about DLC would shortchange those folks. Well, why would he say that? Why would he phrase it in that way? This type of clarification, in my mind, seems to indicate that they don't want to say anything until all of the SKUs have launched. And I also think the fact that he feels the need to clarify is pretty important. They're like, hey, man, they're running with headlines that we're not going to do DLC. We got to kind of get out there and say, whoa. We're just not prepared to talk about that yet, okay? Now, keep in mind, those SKUs are old gen Nintendo Switch, so some of his commentary might have something to do with where the DLC lands. Also consider, if they were pretty firm in no DLC or they had no plans for DLC, nobody would feel the need to speak on this any further. They just would have sort of stopped talking about it. But the fact that they're sort of continuing the dialogue tells me there are plans for DLC. They simply can't talk about it right now. The commentary from Warner Brothers Games president really starts to show how they view this game. So I've got three pieces to my argumentation here. Number one, the very first comment from them left room for DLC. Then they clarify the comments, seemingly timing and tying them discussing DLC to when the game lands on old gen. And then we have comments from the president of Warner Brothers Games. The popularity of the game has warranted a response. According to GamesRadar.com, Hogwarts Legacy popularity is continuing to soar as its players have been putting 23 million hours a day into the game weeks after its full release. Now, he comments on this, and he uses some terms that I think are very telling, especially in light of some of the other statements from him in the same article. Here's a quote. Variety spoke with David Haddad, Warner Brothers Games president, who said that, quote, the player engagement is spectacular and the studio is very pleased with the initial launch. Player engagement is a term I rarely hear with reference to single-player games. If it's a one-off single-player game, nobody's like measuring player engagement, okay? Clearly they're tracking it, they're thinking of it in those terms, and often people use the term player engagement for live service games or online games, ongoing games where you're looking at how many people are playing. But he wasn't done. Haddad, another quote, also said that the company sees a, quote, bright future for the game's release on other platforms, such as PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch, and that Warner Brothers sees Hogwarts Legacy as a, quote, long-term franchise. So now you see why player engagement would be a term, and why the developer would want to come out and clarify comments about DLC. I think it all ties together. When a company says things like bright future, and that they view a piece of property as a long-term franchise, they have big plans. This is not going to be a one-off game. And even if the plans were tentative or in like a holding pattern, like maybe they weren't sure if they were going to do this or not, the commercial success practically creates a business imperative for more content or games within the Hogwarts Legacy franchise. The sales numbers are astonishing given that they've only launched on half the platforms that this game will end up on. So let me give you my thoughts and let me give you a conclusion. Number one, I think the initial comments about not having all their SKUs launched is one of the most telling aspects of how this has developed. Given my own concerns and speculation that this game will struggle to run well on old-gen systems, as well as the Nintendo Switch, I think any future content plans will likely exclude those platforms. That would make sense of why he used the phrasing shortchange those customers. I think once they start talking about DLC, they're going to have to be honest and say, listen, we have to leave behind these platforms. Now, the Nintendo Switch could be in a different category. If they can pull off a good cloud version of the game, I would imagine that they could get the DLC added to it. But the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One will likely be excluded going forward, which makes sense of why he would say shortchange. Like, why would you talk about future DLC plans? Oh, well, we can't talk about it yet. Those SKUs aren't out there. We don't want to shortchange those people. That, again, people betray what they know with the phrases and the words that they typically use, okay? And why would they not want to talk about DLC if it's not going to hit the old-gen consoles? Very simple. It would hurt sales. If people know your ongoing plans for the old-gen systems are non-existent, you're just going to launch the game and that's the end of it, it would hurt sales, and they stand to make a ton more money. There are tons of PlayStation 4s in circulation. The Nintendo Switch has saturated the market incredibly well also, so they stand to sell very, very many copies of this game on those systems. Why would you buy a game for a system if it's not going to be supported beyond release? It's very simple logic. It wouldn't be the first game to leave behind the previous generation with a DLC. We are about to see that happen with Horizon Forbidden West. The second thing I want to say is, based on this observation and the prediction that I'm making, I would imagine that any of the content that they add actually requires leaving behind old gen would make it substantive and not a one-off thing. If you're going to leave behind old gen and you're going to do it with the very first edition, again, I'm presuming that that's what's going to happen, it would likely mean you're going to get substantive content, because they could have just shaved off portions of the game to sell as DLC later, right? If you're going to leave behind old gen, it's got to be decently substantive. It's not just going to be some little piddly thing. It would have been much easier to just say, hey, why don't we carve off this entire quest line and sell it later? That way the first DLC can actually fit on the old gen consoles. This, I think, would be good news. I think, again, it's why they're refusing to talk about it. The third thing I want to say, viewing the property as a long-term franchise with a bright future leaves us with a handful of options. Obviously, sequels could happen, but given the comments from them clarifying that, hey, the SKUs haven't launched yet, we don't want to talk about DLC, it seems like he's hinting or sort of betraying by accident there will be additive content to Hogwarts Legacy, not just sequels. That doesn't rule out sequels, but I think in the immediate future, anything we see would be within the game that's already launched. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have a plan for like 3 different games. Many people think, oh, this is year 5, you could do then year 6 and year 7. But the size and scope of this game continues to make me feel more like this is a home-based game rather than a first game. If you really look at the size of the school and the areas and all the things that they've done, it would be incredibly weird to leave that behind, especially considering anything in the world of Harry Potter is going to orbit around the school. There are other schools. There's one mentioned in the tutorial, Wagadu, which is in Uganda, which is apparently the biggest wizarding school. It's carved into the side of a mountain, and they don't even use wands, so there could be a whole new story to be written there about the type of magic you could learn. But I would imagine they're going to do a lot with this game first before doing any of that. Seeing Hogwarts Legacy as a franchise also leaves room for a Hogwarts Online option, which could utilize the already built school, the world, and the mechanics, but it would be a separate thing, sort of the way they've done with GTA Online. It would be a separate thing that you would download. They would use the existing school and all of that infrastructure, but none of the little pages and puzzles and all of that, none of that would be there for you to do. It would be a way for you to connect with other people and then go venture out into the world and do things in a more online setting. That obviously then leaves room for things like PvP, 1v1, and all of that. So let me give you my conclusion. It is clear that Hogwarts Legacy will be the most commercially successful game of 2023. I can't see anybody toppling this game. Elden Ring was massively successful, and this game has like doubled its sales in Europe, okay? I think Hogwarts Legacy will be the most commercially successful game of 2023. People keep pointing to Tears of the Kingdom. That's on one platform. It's already at a huge disadvantage. People have pointed to Starfield. Starfield's going to be on Game Pass, and also it's not going to be on the Nintendo Switch or any of the PlayStation platforms. Hogwarts Legacy has a massive, massive advantage commercially. It's an existing IP, and it's going to be on every single console in existence right now. 2 of those consoles are incredibly popular, the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4. They're going to crush it, and they're not even done yet. I mean, they're breaking records and setting insane revenue records in all these markets, and they're only on the PC and the next-gen consoles, okay? The fact alone that they're doing that, that's a monumental motivation for more content, okay? At some level, I would be worried, given the commercial success of this game, that they're going to rush things to market. They're going to try and get things out quickly. I hope they don't do that. The launch schedule, having to wait for this to land on the Nintendo Switch and the old-gen consoles, will hopefully help keeping that from happening. It'll let whatever they're building cook a little bit, right? Now, I have people in my chat asking about Diablo 4 as far as commercial success goes. Again, I think Diablo 4 would have to land on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how many systems it's landing on off the top of my head right now. If Diablo 4 is skipping old gen, I don't think it is. I'd have to double check that, but I do think Diablo 4 is landing everywhere but the Nintendo Switch. If they're able to get a cloud version of Diablo 4 on the Nintendo Switch, it might rival it, but I definitely think Hogwarts Legacy appeals to people outside of the gaming genre, outside of the gaming universe, and that gives it an enormous advantage. Diablo is more of a gamer's video game. It will be a top commercial success this year. Diablo will likely be in second place. If it overcomes Hogwarts, I would actually be surprised at this point. Given Diablo 3's commercial success, it might happen. I'll give allowance for that. The general approach to the game, in my opinion, seems to be both exhaustive and focused on quality. Since they've already pushed out some updates and patches, I don't think additive content's going to be rushed, thin, or bad. I think they're going to want to treat this game with a lot of respect given how successful that it has been. I was originally going to do a talk show where I responded to their claim about how we have no plans for DLC at the moment, and I was going to say I don't believe you. Well, now I don't have to, okay? It is clear that Hogwarts Legacy is not just here to stay, it's here to last. And that's my show open. I would love to know what you guys think. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. This is not what we expected. I've been having trouble. This doesn't look like a Hogwarts Legacy turnout. If you guys are having trouble watching the stream or chatting, chat was froze for like 5 minutes of my show open, and I was like, what is going on? So if YouTube is giving you trouble this morning, I apologize. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're chiming in the chat. We might have to do this again. We did this yesterday. We had to put a stream on our back because YouTube has been making some changes, and I think it's fiddling with things and making it hard for people to find videos. I'll agree to the commercial success of Harry Potter. I watched my husband game, but he got me an Xbox just so I could play 3 months after he sold the Xbox for his PS5. I just randomly lost the live feed just now. Yeah, I could tell something's happening. Like, this is not the turnout that we should have right now for Hogwarts Legacy. Anytime we've touched this game, it's been just a flooded chat, and it's just been very slow this morning. My YouTube is broken. Yeah, I knew it. I could tell. I can feel it. I could feel it in the ether. I was like, something is not right. I was trying to publish a short this morning. It wouldn't let me. I was like, I was gonna be a few minutes early today, and I couldn't get anything on the back end to work. I was like, what is going on? There's 100 waiting for me. Yeah, you know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Let's do what we do. All right, let's forget what we see on view count and like count. Forget all that crap, all right? Smash the like button, order some coffee. Let's get the member goal going. My wife and I are going to be playing VR games tonight for members. 30 and Still Gaming and I are going to be doing a live service debate about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. That will be the second show for today. I feel like that was the showstopper last night during the State of Play. Good to see you in chat feed. Yeah, all we have to do is be us. So I was just letting y'all know, if you're having trouble, I was having trouble too. I couldn't even post the video. So they're probably having some more issues again. We're just going to do our show anyway. Slytherin, that's right. I'm wearing a Slytherin shirt from 80s Tees. You can go to 80stees.com. They have a Harry Potter collection there. Use code Lono and you'll get 30% off your entire order. Silent Warrior says, I'm going to do what we do. We're going to gift members right away. This guy, always so generous. Rojo, True Shinobi got their badge back. Mine the Ancient, Raven Shadow, my man God Howard, and Adrian. That's 5 gifted members to kick the day off. Thank you so much. Welcome on in to those 5 people. Every 25 members, and I have to gift 5 members, and we have been crushing that. We're well on our way to 2,500. I picked up some Storm Frames. Appreciate the discount code. Did you do that today, Nerdy Engineer? Yeah, make sure and use my code over there at Gamer Advantage as well. I'm always wearing their glasses. Code Lono will save you some money. It'll support me, and you'll get to wear a nice pair of very light glasses. Yeah, it's telling me that checks are still running on my short. A 55-second short, and checks are still running according to the back end. So YouTube is having some problems today. The way I see it, they had an 18 unique bosses spread across the map. They could easily have tied them all to quests. I will say one of my biggest criticisms of this game, one of my biggest criticisms of this game is there's just not enough combat. The combat's so good, and there's not enough of it. I feel like the combat's too infrequent. Re-upload it. I mean, I'm going to give it some time. And since I can re-upload it from my phone, it won't mess with my live stream. I might actually try that. Excuse me. 95 Merlin trials for what? Well, you do the Merlin trials to increase your carrying capacity. Listen, I like when a game does that and it gives you things to do on the actual game that adds to your experience. Now, Zubair was asking what the exact quote was. Let me give you guys my quickest flyover about this. Right? My quickest flyover about this to argue why I think we're getting DLC, why I think they've actually confirmed DLC with the way that they've set up the language around it. First things first, the very first answer they give us on DLC clearly leaves room for them doing it. It says, at the moment, we have no current plans. That was very, very intentionally chosen, those words, okay? Then they don't leave it at that. Why? Because everybody's looking at that quote and saying, yeah, there's no DLC coming. And they don't like that. They don't like that headline. So a developer comes out and says, listen, we should clarify what he is saying. We don't even have all of our SKUs out in launch. We don't want to shortchange people that don't even have their hands on the game yet. Now, why would talking about DLC shortchange people that don't have the game, right? Why? Why would that shortchange them? Well, likely because that DLC is not going to land on theirs, but also because they don't want to start talking about what's coming next when people haven't even played a single inch of the game, which means that something's coming next. Do you see? Like, this guy gave it away with his comments. Like, he totally did. He's like, we're not allowed to say there's any DLC, so I'm basically going to tell you there's DLC without telling you there's DLC. Does that make sense? You guys like that Lego mosaic? You can check that out getting built over on the Brick Abbey, which those of you that subscribe to that channel, you might want to make sure you're getting notified because nobody's watching our videos over there anymore, and we're not sure what happened. That channel shot out of a cannon, and everyone was supporting it. And as soon as I started building Yoda, something happened. I think you guys all, anybody that's subscribed to the Brick Abbey, make sure you're still getting noties. Make sure you're still seeing the videos in your feed. Because y'all have everybody just stopped, and we think something's wrong. I'm like, what's going on over here? It's not like a worrying thing. It's just a hobbyist channel. I just want y'all to know we're still putting videos over there. I think some of y'all got like the noti glitch on that channel. And now your mama knows says, I hope Ragnarok gets DLC, but at this point, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to do DLC for Ragnarok because they quite literally said, they didn't say, like, we have no plans. They basically said, like, nah, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. If they do anything with Ragnarok, it'll be a spin-off game with Atreus for, like, $40 or something. That's what I think. I think they could do a spin-off game with Atreus that's PSVR 2 compatible. That's a theory that I'm willing to throw out there that I think we might see. I think that's possibly coming. That would be a big title, right? Yeah, they literally said don't count on it. That's not saying at the current moment we have no plans, right? Like, come on. They're gonna wait for bundles, says Sven. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. Now, the third element of my argumentation, I interrupted myself. The third element of my argumentation is you have a developer basically leave room for DLC. You have another developer come out and basically say we can't talk about that until all the games have launched, which is him essentially saying, yeah, we're doing DLC, everybody. Calm down. We can't say anything until after the summer. This thing needs to hit old gen and the Nintendo Switch, and then we can start talking about it. Then, WB Games president comes out and says, we're thrilled with how successful this game has been. He praises the player engagement. Who talks about a single-player game that's just going to be a one-time thing with player engagement? You don't use the phrase player engagement unless you see this game as something more than it is right now. You're thinking about people logging in every day. You're thinking in the realm of live service. You're thinking in the realm of live service. I know people hate that I bang on that drum, but when he said player engagement, I was like, what? Who says that? Who says that about a single-player game? Then he goes on to say that he feels it has a bright future, and they're viewing it as a long-term franchise. There are people out here who still don't have the game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. Exact quote. Right. How are you shortchanging folks by talking about DLC before it comes out? Do you see? It's like, there are people who still don't have the game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. Basically saying, we can't talk about it yet. That sentence alone is him saying, yeah, we don't want to shortchange those folks. If you weren't doing DLC, then that comment makes no sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, psychologically analyze it. Really think about it. His statement makes zero sense if they're not doing any DLC. What do you mean? If you're not doing DLC, then what... What are you even saying then? We don't want to shortchange those people? By what? Saying there's no DLC? Like, I don't understand. Do you think the controversy around the game has calmed down since launch? I think people stopped talking about it because they realized they were wasting their time. It is weird phrasing, and I'm struggling to understand. Occam's razor. Well, maybe not Occam's razor. The most simplest explanation is his statement betrays knowledge. His statement betrays knowledge. It's, yeah, there's content coming, but we don't want to talk about it yet. We don't want to shortchange those people. If you're not doing DLC, you just say, we're not doing DLC. Yeah, you don't say, oh yeah, not everybody has the game yet, so we don't want to shortchange those people. What? What does that even mean? Now, I think there's something more to it than this, Zubair. I think he knows more than just the fact that they're doing DLC. I think he knows the DLC will not be on those systems. I think he knows that Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are getting left behind. If you watch The Deception Detective, he talks about this all the time. People will tell you what they know. They only speak from what they know. And his phrasing and his framing of it, it's like, yeah, there's DLC coming and they're leaving behind old gen. What do you mean shortchange? What are you talking about? How do you shortchange people? That doesn't make any sense as a phrase. They're going to buy the game and they're going to get the game. If right now he said, yeah, there's DLC coming in the holidays, how does that shortchange old gen? The only way that shortchanges old gen is if it leaves behind old gen. Do you see? This is me reading the tea leaves a little bit. I will grant you that. I'm kind of reading the tea leaves. I'm reading between the lines. But it's like, if right now he slipped up and let it slip that like, whoop, oh yeah, there's DLC coming in the holidays, who the frick cares? If you buy the game on the PlayStation 4... If you buy the game on the PlayStation 4 and there's DLC coming in the holidays, you learning that doesn't shortchange you at all. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to buy the game and there's more content coming. It only shortchanges you if you're getting left behind. Yo, my man, Lido. Guys, thank you so much for 3,000 likes over here on the Tickety Talk. I haven't read much of your chat, and I am sorry about that. There's notes around the map speaking about it. The Ministry is coming to search for a guy because he's breeding basilisks. Yeah, that could be a DLC. The Ministry ends up showing up. They give you a bunch of assignments. You got to go do a bunch of stuff. Guys, over here on YouTube, let's try to get to 200 likes. That will help out this video. YouTube's being a little squirrely today, but we're going to make it work. We are going to make it work. Yeah, the checks are still running. They're still running on that. I don't know what in the world is going on. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to re-upload it, but I can't because my phone's streaming right now. Left Behind, Tilu DLC. No. DLC will be a pet battler. Hogwarts Legacy, Vivarium battles. They'll turn it into Pokemon. I want more beasts to acquire for beast battles. Yeah. Havoc says, I bought the game, but I've swapped to this version. The performance difference is ridiculous. When are we going to start calling de novo malware? The game gets cracked a day later than the normal DRM, and it hits performance to a ridiculous degree. Do you think they'll remove it at least now that the game has been cracked? Yeah, I mean, listen, I always feel really, really bad for the PC gamers. I do. I always feel really, really bad for them because it's like... You get bad performance because they have to protect the game from piracy, and then you could argue that they barely protect the game from piracy. It's like it's minimal protection, and it gives a bunch of nonsense to your content. Is YouTube hating on you? No. Oh no. YouTube's being weird today. All channels across the board are reporting problems. People, I saw stuff in my Twitter feed this morning. They must be making some back-end updates because everything's just being slow. YouTube loves us. We get treated very well. We're one of their more consistent live streamers on the platform. I'm for real when I said I'm going to become the Black Grindelwald of Gryffindor. I got the hair for it. Get it? Cowboy says, Lono, I can't wait to hear what you say about... Suicide Squad. Yeah, I'm going to debate that with my man 30 and Still Gaming. It's going to be a live service debate. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy DLC. I think it's essentially been confirmed because another developer came out and clarified the first comments made, and then the president was talking about it. The president of WB Games was saying they view it as a long-term franchise. It has a bright future. He referred to people, he referred to the game... he referred to people playing it as player engagement, which is just a very weird phrase for a single-player game. YouTube changes this over 200 times a year. Sometimes it gets wild. We've never been too hurt by that. Like, lately, we don't show up in search results when I'm live, but we get tons of suggests. And then when I'm not live, we show up in the search results. It'd be great if we could get all of that when I'm live instead of when I'm not. But, we'll take whatever they can give us right now. We're still getting discovered and meeting new people. You got to keep in mind that WB is essentially a failing asset. The only thing that crushes Pokemon is Pokemon. They're trying to pump the price badly. What do you mean pump the price? I have a hard time believing DLC would be locked to current gen. Why? Why, Sven? We haven't even seen this game run on old gen, brother. It's a lot of corpo speak. WB net profits were terrible, and they just had a merger. What does that have to do with the conversation this morning at all? I don't see why they wouldn't lock it to current gen. Horizon Forbidden West is doing it. Cyberpunk is doing it. I mean, we were worried about this being a cyberpunkian situation. We were worried about, like, they delayed it on old gen because it's going to run really, really poorly. We were worried about that, but that's what I'm saying is, like, until we actually see it run on old gen, I don't have any confidence that it would land on old gen. Just sub, love the focus on details and verbiage. Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Hogwarts Legacy TV show coming to HBO Max. Yeah, they say they want to do a Hogwarts Legacy show. They're doing a full court press with this property. We strive to make the channels this way. Be the change you want to see. What are you guys saying over here? DLC relates to the books as be Unreal. Yeah, I know. There was a platform similar, but without all the drama. I mean, we don't have any major drama. Yeah. This would be the first YouTube NFT I mint. Shut up, Barrier. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You guys missed me playing Call of the Mountain on VR yesterday, and 33 minutes into the stream, I bumped my stream deck and zoomed the camera in on my face for about 3 minutes. Yeah, it was amazing. We could use more drama. With the commercial success, they already have... they may decide to drop last gen if it's not going to work properly and just move forward with DLC. The way he is speaking specifically sounds very corporate. Well, yeah, it sounds corporate at one level, Wheezy, but also when you refer to player engagement, that's not a phrase that I've heard commonly, even when we've seen corporate speak or emails or things like that. Player engagement is typically a phrase that corporate speak lands on ongoing games. Seriously, think about it. I'll grant your point. He's speaking very corporately, and the corporate heads, the corporate level dudes that talk about video games with respect to player engagement, they are typically targeting an ongoing game, not a single player game. At the very least, not a single player game that you do nothing with. That would be incredibly odd to be like, oh yeah, we're getting really great player engagement. What? In my mind, if the corporate guys are referring to Hogwarts Legacy with language like player engagement, they see this game far extending beyond just a single player game. I don't even think that makes sense to do sequels if you're talking with respect to player engagement. Are we sure about the use of player engagement? Is that a corporate term of art? I don't know. I mean, I could be completely and utterly wrong here, and that every time they talk about video games, they talk about player engagement. I could be totally wrong. But in my experience, player engagement typically refers to something that you want to have ongoing, not just something that you track for the first month and say, yay! You don't typically talk about engagement unless that engagement is leading to microtransaction sales or something of the like. You'd talk sales, players reached, etc. Yeah, you would talk about concurrent player population numbers, total sales. Player engagement is in like another category. I don't know. I could be reading too far into that. I don't need that on my side to win the argument about they're doing DLC. Just the devs clarifying comments about we don't even have half of our SKUs out. We don't want to shortchange people who don't have the game yet. Just that comment alone confirms that more is coming. You can't read that any other way. You can't. We don't want to shortchange those people. So what you're saying is there's more content coming and you don't want to talk about it yet. His statement makes no sense if there's no DLC. So like I don't even need player engagement in my corner. I'm going to take it because I still think that's why the guy said it what he said. I'm not pushing back hard, just not clear we've laid the foundation for the inference. Some of this inference is my gut, Zubair. My gut. My gut instinct on this game has been pretty good, right? I told y'all, after like the second trailer, go back, I said, this game is going to make headlines. They're going to be like, it's a surprisingly deep, substantive, big RPG. I said, this game is going to surprise people. I said, there's going to be way more to this game than people thought. It's not just going to be some throwaway Harry Potter action game. There's way more to this game. And here we sit. The commercial success is insane. The reviews are incredible. Non-Harry Potter fans are praising the game, saying it's actually a good open world RPG, right? So I would say my gut is tuned into this game. And that's what my gut's telling me. Try a probiotic. My gut's telling me that when this man walks out and says we're getting good player engagement, he's thinking really, really far beyond the launch month. He's not thinking, yeah, during the release month, we got great player engagement. No, he's thinking, yeah, we got great player engagement. Can't wait to launch a battle pass. Can't wait to add more content. Can't wait to let people play online with their friends. Like, he's thinking in terms that you think in when you're looking at a game beyond its initial launch. This game is what Avengers should have been. Massive IP plus good game equals profits. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're going to get into that in the second stream today when we talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I'm trying to move on from New World. I think the nickname is helping me. I don't understand what you mean. What did Creature say? Limitations they don't want moving forward. I think they will. Oh, leaving behind old gen. The amount of DLC that could be added to this turn this game into a live service if they do it right. You have multiple wizarding schools across the world, Quidditch, the Ministry of Magic, Tri-Wizards. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that baked into the tutorial, it's baked in You learn about Wagadu, which is in Uganda. You learn about that school. Suicide Squad's dead on arrival. Okay. Okay, sure. As I see the Room of Requirement unlock and the skill trees and the mechanics, I keep getting the same feeling as playing looter shooters and MMOs. Yeah, like, just look at the Room of Requirement. It's basically a sim game built within Hogwarts Legacy. It's a sim game. That's a game in and of itself. Seriously. That's a game. Just go into the Room of Requirement. It's its own game. It seriously is. It's unbelievable what you can do in there. If they sold the Room of Requirement as like a $40 sim game, people would have bought it and given it 5 stars and been like, this is phenomenal. This is amazing. It seems like there's hooks for more, says Old Rat Beard over here on the Tickety Talk. Why have a message of the day if you aren't adding to it? Yes, I said that last week. I said, who puts a message of the day in a single-player game? What did you do? I mean, obviously you could tell me about your most recent patch, but do I really need patch notes for a single-player game? Like, thanks. I downloaded the update. You don't need to tell me you patched the game. If I go to open the game, it patches it, and I have an update. I've got to download an update. I don't need to then get in the game and hear about it. Bellix, I've done almost nothing with the Room of Requirement. It doesn't tickle my brain. It doesn't. The Room of Requirement is not for me. It just isn't. I want more combat. I want more fights, right? I 100% want way more combat. The combat's one of the best things in the game, in my opinion. I don't think there's enough of it. Room of Requirement, it just doesn't tickle my brain. I'm not wired that way. I'm like, oh, cool. I look at it and respect it and admire it for the depth, the scalability, the millions of permutations of things that people could come up with, the customization. I admire and respect it. I have zero desire to interact with it. I go in and make a potion and plant some plants and identify my gear, and then I leave. Do you know what I mean? Lamau, love that for you. Signed, a girl that died 4 times in combat last night. I love the comment. Listen, my wife has been playing. My wife, it was adorable. Last night, I had some work to do in the office, and she was like, well, can you set me up to play the game while you're working? Like, she wanted to play on her character. And it was so adorable because I came out and she was like, I can't do this. Can you help me figure out how to do this? And I loved that she was just roaming the world and figuring things out and having a good time. The broom flying, she was having trouble with the races, and I told her, I was like, the broom flying, that's not even on you. The broom flying is annoying. But she, in the combat, she has it on like the easy setting. And it's like, it's constantly telling her when to dodge and when to parry. Because, like, I just don't think she would enjoy it if that wasn't the case. She's just not a gamer in that respect. She likes doing the quests. She likes picking the dialogue options. She likes exploring the castle and the world. And then she really, obviously, she likes the different, like, clothing stuff that you can do. She's never been, like, super, fashion like that. Like, oh, I'm all about fashion. But she likes making her character look cute. Like, she changed her hair. Because every time she put a hat on, her hair would be, like, up inside the hat. So she went to Hogsmeade and went with, like, a hair down style. Harry says, I got the game and enjoyed it for 7 to 8 hours. Now I'm struggling to open the game because I'm like, all right, what now? I wish there was more combat or boss fights. I tried one of the wave battle things. I don't know what it's called, and that was fun. But but that's all I'd load up right now. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough. I just don't think there is enough combat in the game. I don't. It's like my favorite thing, because if you really embrace the combat and you really are embracing like the parries and the stupefy and the running the combos up, it's so fun. There just isn't enough of it. You can literally go out and pick fights and have more fun sometimes than like puzzling. I enjoy all of it. People are like, I don't like the lock picking, or I don't like doing the trials of Merlin. I'm like, I like that there's tons of different things to do, so it's not monotonous, right? You know, the combat's really strong. The combat is the thing about the game that continues to surprise me. It continues to surprise me. I'm like, they built such a good combat system with a wand and spells. Like, it's really impressive. I just got in. I heard there's no current plans for DLC from this game coming from one of the devs. Yes. And then another developer clarified that guy's comments, and he said, I'll read it to you. He said that a better way, so this is him sort of clarifying what that guy said. A better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched on half of our SKUs so far. There are people out there who still don't have the game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. We don't want to shortchange those folks. Meaning, we don't want to talk about that yet. Meaning, there's DLC coming. Like, that guy confirmed DLC is coming without confirming DLC is coming. Like, why would you feel the need to clarify? Like, that guy basically said all that needed to be said. Yeah, we have no current plans for DLC. And this guy's like, whoa, wait, hang on a minute, everybody. Everybody's running these no DLC headlines. Let me explain here. We've only launched half the games, all right? We don't want to shortchange the people who don't have the game yet. Like, that's confirmation. I'm taking that as confirmation. I almost didn't put the question mark on the thumbnail. I almost didn't do it. I was like, it's a little too clickbait because we don't actually have hard confirmation yet. So I put the question mark on the thumbnail. I think I have it in my title, don't I? Don't I have it in the title? I think I do. Yeah, I have the question mark in my title. Like, all right, we're asking the question. Is this confirmed? I think it is. Not trying to trigger, just want to know if you reported on it. Is asking about D2 of Final Life Past Events. I don't report or play that game anymore. Yeah, I got my PSVR 2. If you want to watch me play Call of the Mountain, that past broadcast is on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Reforge Gaming. I played it for about an hour and a half. I liked it. There was way too much climbing. I wanted way more combat and way more bow work. I actually thought the combat and the bow work was the best part of Call of the Mountain, and I spent 80% of my time climbing. So if somebody plays through that entire game and comes and gives me assurances that, like, oh, get through this opening area, you'll have less climbing, I'll go back and play it some more. But if the climbing remains as like a 60% of what I'm doing, I have no desire to play anymore. It was tiring. It was absolutely tiring. I will be doing a members-only stream tonight. It's Friday. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll be playing PSVR 2 games with my wife. It's going to be hilarious. We're going to do short spurts. We're not going to play super fast games because I don't want to get her all, like, dizzied up and not feeling well because it can mess with people. But it's still going to be hilarious. We're going to play some of the more fun, like, silly games. It'll be a good time. I got mine yesterday at work. Came home, controllers were completely dead. Yeah, the controller shipped with, like, no battery. VR climb simulator that got a last-minute title change. Oh, man. I could have sworn I read yesterday I have no plans for DLC. There was a developer that said we have no current plans for DLC. Then another developer said we need to clarify what he said. He said, listen, you got to remember, we've only launched half of our SKUs. It hasn't hit old gen yet. It hasn't hit Nintendo Switch yet. He says there are people out there who still don't have the game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. That's confirmation that there's DLC coming. He's basically saying we can't talk about the DLC. We can't talk about ongoing content until it's out on all platforms. So the second dev that talked basically clarified that there would be DLC. I don't know how else to read what the guy said. Like, I don't know how else you read what that guy said. It's like, there's DLC coming, dude. Like, come on. Like, you don't need to clarify someone's comments that says there's no DLC. You don't need to clarify that. What's to clarify? You only need to clarify it if it's being misinterpreted. And it was being misinterpreted because people were saying they're not doing DLC. People were basically running with the headline. Hogwarts Legacy's not doing any DLC, right? Think about the conclusion that you came to. You're the second or third person to come in this morning. And you're like, I thought I read there was no DLC. I thought I read there wasn't any DLC, right? Well, there you go. There you go. That right there is why they had to clarify the comments, because they don't want you thinking that. They don't want you thinking that. PSVR 2 game that I want is Stardender's futuristic bartending on a spaceship. You should put it in the title. Put what in the title? I think the title's pretty clear. Hogwarts Legacy DLC plans confirmed. Like, did they confirm plans for DLC? I believe that they did. That you have to create mystery to get people to click on stuff, right? You have to create some mystery. Getting some lag on stream, is it just me? I was clicking around in the browser. It might have messed with my connection a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're having any issues. Bella's got that dog in her. Knowing the game's popularity, DLC or not, was never in question, was it? Says Coder. It would be just bad business to not make DLC. I mean, I made that argument his way. Hey, Slytherin represent. That's right. If you like my Slytherin shirt, it comes from 80s Tees. You can go to 80stees.com. They have a whole Harry Potter collection, and you can use my code to get a 30% discount. Use code Lono over there. I need to get my emails open. I don't know if we've had any coffee orders yet this morning. Who wants to be the first coffee order of the day? We've already had 5 memberships. Who wants to do the next batch of memberships? You can also gift memberships one at a time. If we hit 25 members, then I have to give 5. No coffee orders yet. So who wants to be the next member to push the member goal, and who wants to be the next coffee order? What type of DLC would you guys want to see? Would you want to see the seasonal format, or would you want to see like expansions? Would you want to see both? Where do you land on the DLC discussion? I don't want her queasy. I get frisky when I drink. Shut up, Zubair. You still have Frickmas Blend left? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we're still doing the discount. If you use code GETFRICKED, you'll get 20% off your your Frickmas Blends when you order them. For this game, I would like DLC expansions, no season pass crap. I feel like you've got to do both, personally. I feel like you've got to do both. Andrew Waring says expansions and multiplayer. Oh, I definitely want multiplayer baked in no matter what they do. I want multiplayer baked in no matter what they do. But I think you can do both. I think you need to do both seasons and expansions. I think you need both. We looked at that just yesterday with New World. I think when you do seasons and expansions, seasons are there to line up with player cadence and rhythms, and then expansions are there to move the story forward. I think both go hand in hand. Big Evil with a 3-month membership. I want expansions like 6th and 7th year, more spells, more enemies, more than one-on-one boss fights. Yeah, the big boss fights in the trials, I could have taken one of those, and then I wish the rest of them were different. You know? Sadly, I don't like coffee, or I'd get some. It's okay. You give some members instead. What price do you think we'll get the DLC is the question. I would want the DLC to be substantive, so I'm saying $40. Charge me $40 and take me to another school. Charge me $40 and take me somewhere else and make it big. I think they're leaving behind old gen. I think when he says there are people that don't even have the game in their hands yet and we don't want to shortchange those folks, that statement doesn't make any sense. Unless your expansions and DLC are leaving the old gen behind. Fake it till you make it with coffee. It's delicious. I really want to see seasonal holiday events. Seasons just line up with this game. It does. Like, my wife was flying around last night in her game. She has been loving Hogwarts Legacy gameplay, which really surprised me. My wife does not play games off stream. She plays on Friday nights with me, or we'll play co-op games. She's played Hogwarts Legacy for 12 hours. That's the most she has ever played a single player game. I'm dead serious. That's the most she's ever played. And she was flying around her world last night. This is what mine looks like right now. There's tons of snow everywhere, right? And she was flying around her world, and I was like, your game is so much more colorful than mine. And I didn't realize it was fall in her game. So she was flying around, and all her trees were different colors, and yellows and oranges and stuff. And I was like, man, your game looks incredible. And I've been in some of the swampy, like, foreboding areas, and there's snow and stuff. So my game looks kind of like, you know, dismal and dark. I've only done one trial, but the fight was stupid. He had one attack and gave you like 2 whole seconds warning. Beat it on hard first try with 0 damage. Yeah, I always wonder sometimes with games like this, Harry, is if you're used to playing really, really difficult games, if they're just never gonna be able to, you know. I like the most like fights like this where I'm under-leveled. So the guy has a 29. It's his number is red, and obviously one of the best things to do in these fights is get rid of the little guys, because the off-screen damage is one of the main things that typically hurts you. So I get rid of the little guy because I'm like, all right, enough's enough, because he's gonna keep messing with me. See, as soon as you get distracted, you get messed over, and I think, see? As soon as I get distracted, that's the problem. I get tunnel vision in games like this. But I typically think the underleveled fights are the most enjoyable because you've really got to stay on your toes. You can't get hit. You can't be in the mix. You got to be managing the combos. You got to be managing their damage, and you'll eat through your potions. I tried to do a late dodge there and it just didn't work. I really, really like the grabbing and throwing mechanic. I think sometimes I think the grabbing and the throwing mechanic really reminds me of the grabbing and the throwing in Spider-Man. And he does a couple of different combos. Like that was a very different one. Sometimes he does a 3 combo where the third hit is parryable and you can do some stupefy. And then other times he does 3 and it's you can do late dodges. There, I got one. Wintertime does not look good in Hogwarts. It's just gray and it washes everything out. Well, but that's accurate. I mean, that's what wintertime looks like. You know what I'm saying? Wintertime, especially out in places like this, it's usually pretty, bad and gray and gross. I mean, it's pretty when you're like the sunlight's hitting it, and you in the sun and the snow hasn't been touched yet, But typically, yeah, snow makes everything look kind of drab and awful, especially once it starts, melting. It just kind of looks like slush everywhere. Tell me you don't go outside without telling me. Yeah, I mean, winter depresses people for a reason, bro. I live in Montana, and winter is still beautiful here. Yeah, like landscapes untouched by people, but in Hogwarts, you're in there's trolls and there's rocky, hills and little villages and stuff, and it's gonna look a little drab. Hey, we got our first orders of coffee coming in. Dad not good. He grabbed a bag of Frickmas and a bag of light. He used code GETFRICKED and he saved himself some money. And then we've got 3 bags of Frickmas going to Skip Toasty. Guys, grab that Frickmas while we're running that special. Grab the Frickmas while we are running that special. Code GETFRICKED for 20% off. Spider-Man 2 is trending for some reason on Twitter. No idea why. I don't know what you mean. Winter is so vibrant. Love the brown filter. That's right. Seasonal depression caused by vitamin D depletion affects everyone. Yeah, it's a visual thing too. Like the vitamin D is one aspect, but visually, it's darker. It's darker. It's more drab. Nice shirt. Thank you. This is from 80stees.com. No, I have not finished the game yet. I played the game for 26 hours, I think, and I don't think I'm close. I think main campaign, I'm 70%. I think I'm around 60 or 70% through main campaign. I played for 26 hours. I've put a ton of time into this game. I am not at all feeling the need to rush. You know what I mean? I am absolutely not feeling the need to rush through it. After the first snow day, snow gets played out real fast. Yeah, it's on your car. It's in your boots. It's cold. You know, it gets everywhere. I hate snow. Talking about Hogwarts? Yeah, we're talking about Hogwarts. So if you're just tuning in, Hogwarts Legacy DLC plans, I think, confirmed. In my mind, the second developer that spoke really landed the plane. I think the president of WB Games made it even clearer that they want this game to continue. Spider-Man 2 game taking longer to come out, like how next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. It's not taking that long to come out. Are you kidding me? Miles Morales came out in 2020. That was 3 years ago. And then the first Spider-Man game came out in 2018. It's been 5 years. When it comes out late this year, that's a 5-year dev cycle. That's a perfectly fine dev cycle. That means it's going to be a good game. And they launched Miles Morales 2 years after the first game came out. Anybody who thinks Spider-Man 2 is taking too long to come out is acting like a spoiled child. Like, settle down. Should they rush it so then you can complain about how it's a bad game that wasn't ready for launch? Miles Morales was so good, but it was so short. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a full game. They sold it for $40 as a spin-off. You know what I mean? I want the game to be good. Yeah, I mean, rush the game. We've got enough rushed games. We don't need any more. The market's full of rushed games that we're not ready for market. I think Hogwarts Legacy was a test for the market, and they bet the sequel will be an MMO or a co-op game. Okay, so Creature has been throwing out this prediction, and I want to know what you guys think about it, okay? Something that he has been continually saying is he has been saying that he thinks they're going to do a side game called Hogwarts Online, right? Hogwarts Online. So I would think that could allow them to use everything they've built, the school, the movement, the mechanics, all of it, and just throw everybody online. And then it allows Hogwarts Legacy to just be its own thing. Don't mix me up in your BS. I'm not mixing you up in my BS. That's your idea. Would you like me to trot out Hogwarts Online as my idea? Oh, that one. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. Well, next time I'll just claim that it's mine. CrossFit Nerd with a $50 super chat. CrossFit Nerd, what are you doing? Melrose Mike with 25 months of membership, and it's a member plus. Good morning, chat and Lono. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're smashing the like button. That helps more people find the video. Could we get 30 more likes on YouTube? Let's get some more members. Let's get some more likes on the Tickety Talk. We have almost 5,000 likes over here. Y'all are the best. I just want a 6th year to continue the story. Co-op would be nice. Yeah, I'd be totally fine with both of those things, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather have co-op. Because year 6, homie, I don't need that for a really long time. If I could do co-op, I'd make a character in each school. I'd play this game for years. I don't need year 6 right now. If I have co-op, I can do so much. Oh yeah, so this is what happens when you do Petrificus Totalis or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? Petrificus Totalis. That's what happens when you do it to a troll. It just does like a little bit of damage to him. He didn't even fall down. He just gets like slightly staggered. You're like, Petrificus Totalis. And he's like, what was that? Oh, something tickled my ankle. I'm like, doesn't do anything. I could definitely play this game for a long time. I just want to confirm we heard Creature say, that's some dumb BS. Oh, it's my idea? Yeah, that's a great idea I had. That's what I'm saying. This guy. I just noticed the drive shaft ring. Nice touch. Oh, you're a fan of Lost? Huh? My wife got this for me for our 15-year anniversary. Because Charlie's my favorite character. Because he has such a good redemption arc. And she got it for me. She believes in my redemption arc. So it was a really sweet gift from her. It's always a reminder when I look at it. Hey, Quintar. Quintar coming in with 5 gifted members, taking us to 10. If we get to 2,500, we're going to do a triple header horror game weekend with my wife. If we get to 3,000, I have to do a Just Dance stream. I do not want to do a Just Dance stream. That's why I set the goal so high. Taking us to 15 members, my man Lone Wolf coming in, gifting some members. Justin Kirkland, Remo Suave, Retro Never Dies, Astral Frost, Casual Grinder. How does Casual Grinder get a gifted member? He's usually gifting. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We take care of our own here. Casual Grinder is a king gifter, and he just got gifted. What is happening? CC Scooter, Daniel Eves, Dez, Samuel King, Brock, and CrossFit Nerd coming in with 20 gifted. Bomb just skyrocketing us up to 35 members. 35 members on the day with a 20 bomb. That's a big one. I'm not going to read all 20 names. If you're here in chat right now, check the chat to see if you got gifted a member. We've been streaming for 1 hour. Let's get 300 likes on the video. It's free to smash the thumbs up button, and it helps the video find more people. I was being a spoiled brat and just a spoiled Marvel fan. Listen, I love you. I do. Sometimes I have to tell somebody they're talking spoiled. You know what I'm saying? I was being serious, though. Like, I love the Spider-Man game, and I want the next game to have plenty of time, right? So I was pushing back and be like, what do you mean? They let them have 5 years. Let them get a good dev cycle, right? It came from love for the game, and I'm glad you took it in stride. That says a lot about you as a person. Hey, Rissick! Rissick's coming in with a 20 bomb, and he's taking us to 55 members. Rockin' Robin is gonna gift one, and Casual Grinder's like, I don't know why I got gifted one, but I'll take it, and he pushes us to 66. Rockin' Robin pushes us to 56. He pushes us to 66 with his 10. Let's go. Let us go. I need to give you guys a member count. I need to give you a member count. I wonder how close we are getting to 2,500. I wonder. By the way, I did agree that for the Just Dance stream, I will wear some type of outfit. My wife will probably have to help me pick it out. If you guys hit 3,500, you got a ways to go. I actually don't think you're going to get that one. You might be able to get the $3,000 one. We are at 2359. We're 140 away from the triple header horror game weekend. We're 140 members away from that. We have really, really moved the needle. You guys are awesome. Sorcerer is going to take us to 67 members. He drops a gifted on the chat and it goes to Lewis. Welcome in, Lewis. Let us go. That's right. A dance stream. Hey, how are you, 809 Line? Good to see you. Sorcerer is going to gift another one. Sorcerer, are you trying to single-handedly put us at 69? Is that what's going on? Guys, don't let Sorcerer have don't let him have this trophy for very long. Renee got Sorcerer's gifted. He's going to try and do it. I can feel it. That's what he's doing. No, Zinthos beat you, Sorcerer. Zinthos takes the 69 crown. That means you're going to have a good Friday, Zinthos. That's a good omen. And sorry, Sorcerer, you're the old man that pushed us to 70 and ruined the number. Sorry, bad omen for you, Sorcerer. So it's going to be a lonely weekend for you. Anybody tuning in? If you guys are enjoying the content and you're like, why would I want a membership to a YouTube channel? I do members only streams. Friday night's the best one because I get to hang out with my wife, have some drinks, and have some laughs. We will be doing PSVR 2 games tonight. You're not going to want to miss it, all right? It's going to be hysterical. Don't miss it. Make sure you're here tonight for that. If Friday nights are a good time for you, you're like, I'm in another country. What time is that? That's basically 9 hours from now. 9 hours from now. 5 more gifted members from Quintar. He says, let's just round it out to a nice 75. A nice 75, which means I now owe you guys 15 members. I will do it at the end of the stream. Terminal Stupidity's not satisfied with that. He says, no. No, we can't have a nice, crisp, clean 75. Let's push it to 85. another 10 gifted members. This community is so generous. If you're here on the regular, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're smashing like. All of those things increase the likelihood of you getting a gifted membership. So, and stick around to the end of the show when I gift what will probably end up being 20 or more members. I already owe 15, so make sure you keep it here. That'll increase the likelihood you get them. What's the link for your YouTube channel? It's on my profile. It's on my profile, or you go to YouTube and look for Reforge Gaming. I should just start saying that. Just go to my profile and click the link. I've got it on my profile on the Tickety Talk. You're allowed to say that. Those girls do that all the time. They're like, check out my Instagram. Check out my Instagram. Because they're not allowed to say the name of the real platform they want you to go to. It's on my profile. You can check out my YouTube channel there. Yeah. Oh, members. Wait. Fistmaster got a membership. Scott, are you here? Are you in the chat? Fistmaster 5000 got a membership. That is one of the first people that I formed a friendship with in the streaming world 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Are you here? Anyway, if you got a membership, get into our Discord. You can follow me on all the socials at Reforge TV, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or the Tickety Talk. I'm Reforge TV everywhere. The Discord's also Reforge TV. Discord.gg/Reforge TV. Members only Discord to stay connected with the community, to not miss out on content. Make sure you guys get in there if you got a membership, and make sure you're smashing that like button. You've edged us all the way. We're 2 away. We are 2 away. We're at 2368. That can't be right. It has to have moved. Let me refresh. 2378. 2378. We're now 120 members away. 120 members away from the triple header horror weekend. We've already done that a couple of times, so if you're a brand new member, my wife and I played through The Quarry, and we played through Until Dawn. Those are on the channel. If you want to see those playthroughs, they are hilarious. They're hilarious. His name is Fistmaster 5000. It's because he would go like that. He would anytime somebody followed him, he would go, "There's your fist of support," and he would do a fist bump to the camera. So it was not a dirty thing. That's where his name came from. I don't think when he chose his name, he realized what he was signing up for, because he got jokes all the time. He's not here. He must be lurking regularly enough, though, to get a membership. So hopefully he gets the email and comes in and says hello. He rebranded? Oh, he did? What did he change to over there on purple? Took it from Pewds. I don't think he was doing the PewDiePie thing. I think he genuinely thought it was a cool thing to do, you know. 2,500 sub goal. Will you play Poppy's Playhouse? I don't know what that is. We need a game that would last over the weekend, like 3 play sessions. Yeah, smile with your teeth. That's right. Smile with your teeth. That's some of my best work. My wife wouldn't let me stop playing The Quarry when I started it. She loves those games. Oh, they're fun. They're really, really fun. Couldn't tell you offhand. It pops up in my followed every now and then. Did he change on Twitter as well, or did he leave his Twitter? Yeah, it looks like he changed his Twitter, because I don't even see the Twitter account. Yeah, I don't have him in my DMs or anything. I don't know what he switched it to. I'd be curious. Poppy Playhouse would bork the metrics, I bet. If he legit thought it was cool, he was wrong. Any game lineup for the next 3 horror weekend? I'm not sure. I think what we could do, Paul, is just start over with The Devil in Me, because we played it one night and we really liked it. We could just start over fresh with that one. We didn't make it very far. At least I don't think we did. You know? Or we could just pick it up and try to finish it in the weekend and be like, hey, part 1's, a couple months old. We could just pick it up and do a part 2, part 3. You know, maybe triple header horror is a bad idea. Honestly, we should probably just do a Friday and Saturday anyway. The Sunday night stream's a bad idea. That's the right, like, that's before I start my week. Like, that's, we should probably say double header. Like, we should probably say double header horror weekend instead of triple. Because Sunday night streams, that's rough. Because I got to get up the next day and do multiple shows, and I got to make uploads and schedule. Like, triple header horror is probably an overpromise. You play RE Village on VR? We'll probably try that one tonight. My wife and I are going to be doing a PSVR 2 stream tonight. I've been debating getting PS5 and a PSVR 2. How is it? I think the PSVR 2 has convinced me that, like, VR, you know, I think it will do good things. I still think it's going to take a really long time. It's too expensive, and it makes you feel weird, you know? I don't think it's... I had probably the best experience you could have. I played for an hour and a half. I didn't feel that woozy, and I didn't feel bad, but it made me feel weird. It's extremely expensive to play a really cool thing and then to feel kind of weird afterwards. So, what's the best PSVR 2 game you've played? Gran Turismo was mind-blowing, and Call of the Mountain surprised me. Beautiful. Just too much climbing. I thought the bow was super intuitive. I thought the combat worked really well. I just wanted a boss rush. If Call of the Mountain would just give me a boss rush where I could fight like different enemies, different packs of enemies, different groups of enemies, different size enemies, I would freaking love it, because I actually found the combat surprisingly fun and intuitive and very satisfying. It's not something I've ever done before. So, it was just constant climbing. And it wasn't just like, oh, a little bit of climbing here and there. It was like, oh, man, whew, it took me a long time to climb up here. And then I would walk 10 feet and it'd be like, gotta climb some more. So they paced it. I think they paced it very poorly, personally. No Man's Sky PSVR 2. Yeah, I've not tried that. I feel like Call of the Mountain's an entry-level game, almost like a trainer game for VR. Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't surprise if it's designed that way. I just wanted to get to the combat. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to get to the combat. I wanted to fight. I thought the bow felt so good. Did I miss a DLC discussion, or was that just really good clickbait? No, I don't do clickbait. No. I'll give you a recap right now. A bunch of people are tuning in. If you're tuning in for Hogwarts Legacy DLC, Andrew Waring is going to push us to 86 members. I absolutely love seeing someone jump in on their own. I want to give you guys some perspective, though. 85 gifted members to one person doing it on their own. We need that to change. That ratio must change. People have got to get committed. You got to jump in. Do your own membership if you can. It's $5 for the entire month. Extra content, behind-the-scenes stuff, streams with my wife. They're hilarious. Members-only Discord, right? That ratio's got to improve, okay? We have insanely generous people here, and I would love for them to be gifting members to people. Make more room, right? If you buy your own, it frees up space. So, let me give you the too long didn't read on Hogwarts Legacy DLC, okay? First, many people have come in this morning and they're like, didn't they say there's no plans for DLC? Yes, they did. And then very quickly, that comment was clarified by another developer. And here's what he said. He said, quote, "A better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched on half of our SKUs so far. SKU refers to the identity number attached to something in its inventory. So when you see sometimes those game leaks, you see the SKU number, right? If you're familiar with retail or if you've worked in inventory, you know what a SKU is, but I'm just making it clear to everybody. So he's saying, listen, you got to remember we've only launched half our SKUs. And then he goes on to say this. He says, there are people out there who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. That's basically confirmation of DLC. He's confirming it without confirming it. He's saying, listen, we don't want to shortchange the people who don't have the game yet. Translation, we don't want to talk about the DLC until everybody has the game yet. Also, I think he used the phrase shortchange, and it means something. I think future content will leave behind old gen. I already have my own concerns about how Hogwarts Legacy gameplay is going to feel on old gen systems, and I feel it's going to struggle to run well. I think they're going to actually leave behind old gen when they launch the DLC, which is why he used the phrase short change, okay? Now, if you take all of that and then you look at what the president of Warner Brothers Games said, he sees the player engagement as being very good, which is a weird phrase to use of a game that you're just going to launch and that's it. If they were just going to launch Hogwarts Legacy as a single-player game and then do nothing with it, I don't think you would refer to the player engagement. You track player engagement when you're wanting to foster it and maintain it long-term, okay? The second thing the president basically talked about is he sees it having a bright future, and they view it as a long-term franchise. I think that could mean a variety of iterations of additive content, whether that's sequels, DLCs, season pass format, whatever. But I think we got the strongest confirmation of Hogwarts Legacy DLC we could get without them just flat out saying it. That like, yeah, we're doing DLC. Because right now, I want you to imagine, listen to what the second developer said. I said this earlier. I want you to imagine that they came out right now and said, listen, let's say there was a leak. And they came out and said, listen, the leaks are true, okay? There's DLC coming in the holidays, all right? We're going to do an expansion in the holidays. How does that shortchange the people who don't have the game yet? Would that bother you? Would it bother you if you haven't gotten the game yet for your PlayStation 4? And they say, oh yeah, we have DLC planned for the holidays. That wouldn't bother you at all. You'd be like, oh, cool. I don't even have the game yet. And they're planning DLC. His comments only make sense if they're not only planning DLC, but if the DLC is leaving behind old gen. I think he betrayed knowledge with his comments, right? Thank you for the $2 tip, Muhammad. Player engagement could mean advertising effectiveness. Yeah, but advertising effectiveness, he would use something to the effect of like sales, like population numbers, player numbers. I don't know. Player engagement, you could be right. I don't need player engagement for my argument to stay intact. That's a weaker aspect of my argument. But I still think when you use the phrase player engagement, you're thinking about the game beyond its launch month. It betrays something. I've heard 80% of the game is climbing. That's so discouraging because the combat was so surprisingly good in Call of the Mountain. If it's going to leave behind old gen, then they won't be announcing it until after old gen release. That's exactly what he basically said, Happy Pappy. He said, there are people who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. If you knew right now there was DLC coming for Hogwarts Legacy, if you're like, oh, there's Hogwarts Legacy DLC, and it's leaving behind PlayStation 4, you wouldn't buy it for the PlayStation 4. You wouldn't buy it for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I think if they launch Hogwarts Legacy on the Nintendo Switch and it's via the cloud, that could continue to get DLC. But the Xbox One and the PS4 will likely not get any DLC. Wouldn't shortchanging still happen if the DLC is leaving behind old gen? Right, but look at what he's saying, Siege Master. The context of what he's saying is, there are people who don't even have the game yet. We don't want to shortchange them. Like I said, he's betraying what he knows. Like, totally by accident. He's betraying what he knows. He's like, yeah, we don't want to shortchange people. Yeah, of course you don't want to shortchange those people. You want to get good sales on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch. So of course you're not going to let them know that there's more content coming and they can't get it. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. I haven't gotten it for PS4. I've been trying it on my cousin's PS5. It could be to show they're invested 100% in making the last-gen versions playable because it'll run like crap, and that would shortchange them. Okay, listen. That's an interpretation that could be possible. So he's saying, listen, we don't want to short. Yeah, he could be saying that. No, that's a possible interpretation. But his lead in, though, Paul, he says, a better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched on half of our SKUs. There are people out there who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. So he could be saying, we want to make sure we develop the game and it's amazing. We don't want to move on to DLC. Again, I think even that translation means we have DLC plans. We can't move on to those DLC plans until we ship these games. Don't you see? I think even that interpretation, Paul, allows for me to say, yeah, he just confirmed DLC. You know, he just confirmed DLC because he's basically saying we can't start doing that until this ships. Again, I think his phrasing and I think the way he framed it, I think it betrays that, yep, we're doing DLC 100%, but we can't move on to that. We don't want to shortchange these people. They don't even have the game yet. I didn't mean any disrespect with my comment. I just thought I may have joined a bit late. Right, creative gamers, I'm always quick to push back on clickbait because I'm very cognizant and very conscious. I'm very conscientious. Conscientious? Yeah. I'm very conscientious about not being clickbait. It's why there's a question mark on the thumbnail. It's why there's a question mark in my title. I almost went without a question mark. DLC, like Hogwarts Legacy DLC plans confirmed. I almost did that, but I thought, no, that's not an honest headline. I think they confirmed it, but I know the interpretive mind of YouTube Click, people are going to say, oh, they've confirmed DLC plans, and I didn't want to do that. So I put the question mark. So I'm always very quick to push back. I'm like, no. I don't do clickbait. I'm very careful and respectful to the viewer, to the person that's going to click. If you clicked on this title and thumbnail, you knew going in that I was uncertain. There was a lack of certainty in this stream and in this framing. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. That question mark, I think, protects me in that regard. Yeah, Lono Stradamus confirmed it. That's right. Also, the devs might be listening to consumers about what they want to see in the game. That's a good point, Goddess. That's a very, very good point. I got news for you right now. There's a meeting room somewhere where a high up, somebody in charge said, how can we get people to play can we get people to play online? Can we get people playing together? Is that possible? It was one of the first things we saw, people making a co-op mod. Barrier says, announcing any sort of DLC before last gen has the game would spoil things for them or shortchange them. That's another interpretation as well, yes. I don't think, again, if you're just going to try to psychologize what the guy was doing, I don't think you need to clarify someone's comments about DLC if you're not doing any. Does that make sense? You could literally leave that guy's comment as it was. His comment was fine. He literally said, at the moment, we have no current plans for DLC. That is a totally safe corporate speak announcement. It leaves you open. It leaves you in a position to do DLC down the road, but it also sets the expectation that, like, yeah, we're not making anything right now. That gives confidence to the people that are going to buy the game for the old systems and Nintendo Switch. Again, if you psychologize what he's doing, the only reason you need to clarify what was stated is because you are going to do DLC and you want us to know why you're not talking about it yet. I think that's the safest conclusion we can come to. Multiplayer would be dope. Oh yeah, Hogwarts Legacy multiplayer would be beautiful. I have a Hogwarts Legacy co-op video that continues to get comments from people. Everybody's looking for that. I need to see how that video is doing, actually. I've not checked on that video in a while. Let me check on that video. Hang on. I want to see if that video has gotten any push. Needs co-op. Yeah, it on the February the 4th. So for the last 20 days, it's gained viewership. Now it hasn't skyrocketed up into the stratosphere, but it could if they ever actually announce it or make changes. It could. They could be like, "Hey, we're rolling out a co-op update. You can play with another person, right? You can play with another person." Zubair says, "Let's lay out the options here. Sequel game on all platforms. Sequel game on next gen only. DLC on all. DLC on next gen only. No DLC. Live game on all. Live game on next gen only. Anything else?" I think you can have a live game DLC hybrid, Zubair. And then you'd have everywhere or new gen only. New gen only. I think you'd have a hybrid. Because you can have live service games that do expansions. New World's doing it. New World's doing it, and Destiny has pretty much cornered the market on how you can do regular expansions along with seasonal content. So yeah, both. I think the most likely thing that we get is seasonal format with expansions. I think that's the most likely thing that we get. The first DLC could be a co-op mission set. Could be. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Just being able to roam the world and do stuff. I would start a fresh character. I'd have my wife start a fresh character, play through the whole game. They'd have to cut out the intro. I don't think you need to play the intro every time. That's another update I think they could afford to do. Like, hey, this is your second character. Would you like to skip the intro and start at the school? Yes. I can create my character, set what I look like, and you can just drop me off at Hogwarts. I don't need to watch the intro and see the scenes and go into Gringotts. I don't need to do all that. Oh, live includes seasons and expansions? For me, live means the Destiny model. Okay. Well, then, yeah, you've got them all then, Zubair. I would say that's all the potential models. Because if Hogwarts Legacy DLC happens, I don't think you can do just seasons, and I don't think you can do just expansions. I think you would want to do both. The game is built for seasonal content. It is totally built for it. The leaves change to fall, and the snow drops, and it's a beautiful game. They've got Christmas decorations, they've got Halloween decorations. The game's built for seasonal models, seasonal content, seasonal events. And then you do big expansions where, like, maybe you go to another school, or maybe you leave the area, maybe they add an area, who knows. The heck with it. Let's go Grand Theft Wizardry. Just DLC me to death. That's right. There's another. One model for next gen, one model for last gen, a hybrid. The only reason I wouldn't include that, Zubair, is I think that one's so unlikely it's not worth mentioning. I just think it's not worth mentioning. Because you'd have to consider the fact that if they're doing that, that means they have planned support for old gen beyond this year, that just seems unlikely. Those systems are done after this year. I don't see them getting much of anything. Indie titles, sure. Indie titles that have been in development for a while, sure. We'll continue to launch on the old gen systems, but I don't see it. I can't see any main studio mainline game having support of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One beyond 2023. I feel like next year is going to be the year where there's like almost nothing happening on the old systems. Wouldn't they want to see if they sell another 40 million copies on last gen? Gotta say, it's a nice shirt, Lono. Thank you. Continue to support our sponsors. This is from 80s Tees, guys. Anytime you're looking to get some new shirts, go to 80s Tees first, because you can use code Lono for 30% off. If you're more into graphic tees, like street art and all that, go to Into the AM, and you can use my code there as well, code Lono. That'll get you 10% off. Christitutional. That's a cool name. Christitutional. Assuming DLC, they'll change headmasters each time, so we see Newton, Scamander, and eventually Dumbledore. We would be so ancient by the time Dumbledore shows up. Wouldn't Dumbledore show up as a student? Dragon Spirit, good to see you. I've arrived, just woke up. I think they want to see how much they will sell and then decide where the DLC goes. Okay, I had an idea, Zubair. I had an idea. They could institute a seasonal format to make a ton of money on old gen. Because like you're saying, if it sells well on old gen, you'd want to make money there, right? They do that. And then the first major expansion, they'd have to leave behind old gen. I can't see them adding to this game. This game is massive. This game is enormous. I can't see them adding to this game on old gen. I just can't. I think it's going to struggle as is to run there. So I could see what you're saying. Yeah, almost a hybrid approach. You could say, hey, we're going to do seasonal format. You get that battle pass out there. You do a couple of seasons. You'll make freaking bank on the old gen systems and next gen. But your first major expansion, you'd have to leave behind old gen. Dumbledore starts school in 1892, so our character would be a 7th year. Right. That could be an amazing post-credit scene. The last time they add content to the Hogwarts Legacy franchise, the last thing they do post-credits is you get introduced to Dumbledore. You know, I don't think you need him in the game for anything. Hopefully Quidditch. All right, let me talk about Quidditch. Hogwarts Legacy Quidditch. The reason that I don't think that's a top priority is Broomflight is just not very good. It's not good. The agility, the turning, the control scheme, they would have to completely change how Broomflight is experienced. I think Broomflight's the weakest part of the game. As far as gameplay goes, right? I think it's the weakest part. I can't imagine doing Quidditch with the current controls. It's booty. It's booty cheeks, man. It's not good. It's not good. I can't see flying around that pitch quickly trying to do anything with the current control scheme. Just the races alone are like dragging my person through some wet cement. It doesn't feel good. Straight line flight when you're traversing the world, it's fine. Totally fine, and it gets the job done. But that pitch and trying to circle and swoop and flip, they'd have to completely revamp. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Look at the Christmas decorations. Check it out. Look at that. This game is ripe. So look at Hogsmeade, man. Like wreaths and garland and snow. Just so good. Eugene says, from what I've heard about Broomflight, Quidditch would be a dumpster fire. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here telling you, as somebody who really enjoys the game, Quidditch is, like, not happening. Zubair wants my thoughts on his comment above. I think you could read what the dev said as, we aren't planning for DLC for old gen, but we haven't seen the sales there yet, and we don't want to shortchange anyone. Yes. Yeah. Here's what I'll say, Zubair. I think his comment betrays that there are plans for DLC. But I think once you've laid that foundation, there's 18 different arcs and pathways that it could do, like lightning spidering out. It's like, I think we all agree his statement all but confirmed that there will be DLC. They've already planned it, confirmed it, it's happening. After you lay that foundation, it could go 1,000 different directions. They could be like, PlayStation 4 outsold PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X combined. What the frick are we going to do about that? But you see what I'm saying? Like, it could outsell, it could literally, just on the PS4, it could outsell the next-gen systems combined. It could. There are so many PlayStation 4s in circulation. So if that happens, what are we going to do about that? And turn our backs on that many customers that fast? Oh my gosh, that would be bad. So I think your read is one of the many possibilities. as long as we establish that, yes, there is quite clearly plans for DLC, they just can't talk about it yet. They can't. And I think that that's totally fine. I think that's totally fine. I don't expect them to walk out and start yammering away about DLC when they gotta market and ship and support and make sure old gen and Nintendo, we gotta make sure those all work, right? You gotta make sure those all work, because if you don't, that could really hurt them. That's been something I've said from the very beginning, is that they could really, really hurt their PR if this stuff comes out, and if it runs like dog water, that's not going to go over very well. You're going to have a lot of people being pretty miffed and saying things like, you shouldn't have sold this on this platform. And I would be on their side. I'll be one of the first people to do that. I'll be one of the first people to say, hey, y'all shouldn't have done this. Y'all should be giving people their money back. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying if it does happen, I'll be one of the first people in line to say, this was wrong. This is not how you treat consumers. My thumbnail that I made for Suicide Squad, it turned out so good. I can't wait to discuss this with you guys. We're going to be having a live service debate about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and at the end of this stream, before we do that, that's in about 45 minutes, I'm going to have to gift you guys currently 15. If this member goal hits 100, I'm going to owe you guys 20 members. 20 members. Thank you guys so much for one of our strongest shows of the week. I appreciate so many people being here. There's one from Limitless Gaming. He's like, I'll nudge it. It's like that meme with the stick. Do something. He's like, I'll nudge the chat. Dragon, Spirit of Heart, snagging the membership. You're ticked about Suicide Squad? Hey, listen, come to the debate. Come to the debate. I can't wait to tell tons of people how wrong they are. It's going to be so fun. That's one of my favorite things to do. It's like my favorite. I cannot wait to tell so many people how wrong they are. We are getting a 53% suggest rate on this video. That means half of the people that clicked on today's live stream, you saw me somewhere else on the platform and you decided to click. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you've enjoyed the show and come back for more. Thank you so much. Love going to the Forbidden Forest and looking for the smoke. Magical creatures, combat in the arena, like the magic items. Solving puzzles, small schoolmate combat, defense against the dark arts. Oh, there's so many things you could do. It's online only. I'm not wrong. Live service fine. Online only is a no-no. Oh, no, I'll grant you that one. The numbers are all wrong, though. Same 82 people been watching all morning. I see 3,700, creature. I see 3,700. This thing's going to cruise to over 4. That's pretty good. It still seems low. Usually when we were this close to 500 viewers, well, we even got into the 500s. Usually when we had this many people, it typically would be like a 6 to 7. So something still feels off in the total counts. Except Avengers is Square Enix, I knew it was going to be a dumpster fire. Rocksteady's still in the same universe. The puzzles are awesome, and some, to me, are like actually mind-blowing. What did Zubair say? Bellix is laughing. What did Zubair say? I don't see it. Oh, you're going to need to yell next time. I tend to get preferential treatment. Oh no, what did Bellix say? It's exactly what I said. They have the options, just waiting for data to filter and do it then. Listen, I didn't want to continue to give you too much attention, Bellix. It might look a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Mine says 51 waiting. 51 people are waiting for my stream to start. That's amazing. Mine says 496 watching. Yeah, mine says 474. It's been, I think it's leveled out. We definitely had some problems this morning. Are you going to leave a link for the debate? Travis, it's just going to be another stream on this channel. I'll redirect you to it, and I'll put a link in chat. Anytime I do 2 talk shows or 2 streams, I always take you with me. You honestly feel like it'll be mid at best? No, I think it looks great. I'm one of the few people that, like, since the beginning thought, this looks pretty good. And then last night, I was like, this is the best the game's looked. So. It's okay, we know Bellix gets special treatment. I don't give Bellix special treatment, but when I'm playing the game, she comes in and knows everything because she's played much more than me. I've done that before with other people. I've done that with Eugene. If he's played a game way more than me, I'm like, what do? I do that all the time. Creature says, I was crapping all over it last night and it shut me up. Yeah, even Creature was like, this looks good. We were on the phone watching it together. I've only stopped seeing colored names. It was like that for a few weeks. See, he avoids me on purpose. I was the opposite, TBH, says Wheezy. I'm just being funny. No, that's the thing. I know what the optics are on a pretty girl comes into chat and then she gets all the attention. I'm not trying to do that, but genuinely when I was playing Hogwarts, I was like, Bellix, what do I do? I was trying to get the broom. I was trying to figure out how to do certain things. I was like, what in the frick do I do? I'm not trying to do that every day. I'm not trying to do that every day. As your chat room attorney, I advise you to stop talking. There you go. They will have pre-order numbers right now for the PlayStation 4, the Switch, and the Xbox One. I don't think a game dev is sitting around waiting for sales numbers. Take me with you. If you guys over here on the Tickety Talk want to watch the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League live stream debate, where we debate live service, you're going to have to come to YouTube. We're going to be doing that in about 40 minutes. I can't take you with me. I don't have a stream key over here. And I'll be honest with you, I don't make any money on the Tickety Talk. This platform is monetized terribly. It's almost impossible to make good money over here. I'm literally over here to have more people find me. You want to support me? You want to help my business grow? Come over to YouTube. Like, the Tickety Talk is it's pennies on the day. Like, if you're going to spend money supporting me, don't even do it over here. Come over to the YouTube channel. I'm being dead serious. I don't even want to put the full stream over here. The platform's not worthy of it. They're not set up well. Why would I put my front and center content, my primo content over here when they pay me like a penny a day, and people are like throwing gifted candy bars at me and all this stuff? No, I wouldn't support monetarily over here anymore because the streamer gets almost none of it. I have no issue with primary online, but solely online for single player. That's to sell microtransactions. We'll debate it. We'll debate it. Yeah, Bernard, I don't want to talk about that. Nice chair, thank you. I'm late to the convo, so where are we? So we are getting DLC. All right, let me do a recap. I try to do this every once in a while. If you enjoy this recap and it helps you out, show some appreciation, smash the like button, gift some members, order some coffee. That's a great way to support what I do. You will notice I've been streaming for almost 2 hours, and I've not run any ads on YouTube. There are streamers that do that. I don't do that. We do members, we do sponsors, we do coffee. It keeps the stream going. Let me give you a recap. So, as far as Hogwarts Legacy DLC is concerned, there was an initial comment made that at the moment, they had no current plans for DLC, which many people read that and thought, that's leaving it open, which most people thought, the game's been so commercially successful, how could you possibly not do more, right? Then, another developer weighs in and says the following. A better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched half of our SKUs so far. There are people out there who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. Now, essentially what he's doing is he's saying, we need to focus on shipping a good product. We don't want to start diverting to something else. The shortchange line could also be like, yeah, we don't really want to talk about DLC yet, because old gen's not going to get DLC, right? I think the most face value, most basic interpretation of what he's saying is, we want to make sure the game launches well before we start working on DLC, which I still take to be confirmation that they're doing DLC. Like, you don't say that. You don't feel the need to clarify comments about DLC and how, you know, you got to get the game out first. You're creating a hierarchy of value. You're creating a hierarchy of priority. You're saying this has to happen first, which means that DLC is coming. I need skill-based matchmaking for Hogwarts Legacy multiplayer dueling. Well, there's no multiplayer dueling, and if you need skill-based matchmaking, then, you know, I guess you're just not good. Now, because of you guys, he's going to avoid talking to me like I'm the devil. Stop being envious. Stop being pretty. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know how the internet works, Bellix. It's your fault. I mean, it's not our fault. I'm not sitting here with... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not your fault. But it is true. It is true. The internet loses their minds when a girl shows up. I'm going to be quiet. Bye. I agree. They should get the game first to everyone. I will happily buy tea from you. I don't have any tea. I hope DLC includes the Patronus charm and an option for animagus transformations. Oh yeah, like switching to different animals and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Lono ignores me all the time. I'm used to it. Yeah, Troll gets ignored for the same reasons. You know, you just can't be that attractive and in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Look at that stud. This Reforged recap is brought to you today by the letter R. The Reforged Roast Frickmas blend, the best coffee on the planet. We should create a whole scene like that, Creature. Vengeance just had like a goofy but slightly brilliant idea. Like, I just push a button, and I mean, this isn't the scene, but I just would push a button and end up in some other scene and be like, let's give you a Reforged recap. After a certain amount of time, you come to appreciate him ignoring you. Wait, what? Now you want a Bellix cam? No! A recap cam! Goodness gracious! You're supposed to be my producer. This is entrapment. Jiminy Christmas. End up on live streamer fails. Previously canceled streamer. Can't stop hitting on... How's that my fault? Yeah, I don't... That's 100% on Creature. That's 100% on Creature. That has nothing to do with me. So I'm hearing being ugly is a solution. Yes. Yes. The more ugly you are, the better off. You can exist happily on the internet if you're ugly. I mean, golly. Have you seen the guys on Twitter? My favorite is when some dude that looks like a moldy toe starts complaining about how characters in video games aren't attractive enough. That's always my favorite. Like, okay, bro, okay. Are you cosplaying as a meatloaf, or do you just always look this hideous? Why are you talking about how attractive people are? Cosplaying as meatloaf? I made myself laugh with my own joke. Cosplaying as Meatloaf. Not the singer Meatloaf, like literal meatloaf, like actual a loaf of meat. Not the singer Meatloaf. Meatloaf. Like actual food. The singer Meatloaf would also work. Yes, but he doesn't need to catch strays when I'm slamming some idiot on Twitter, right? Like Meatloaf's over here like, what did I do? What in the frick? Wait, didn't he pass away recently? Yeah, I'm not trying to have Meatloaf catching strays out here. And depending on when you looked at him, I mean, he probably had a couple, years there where he's looking all right. Oh. Rip the legend, rest in peace. Oh, yeah, so he did. I thought he did. It was a couple years ago, wasn't it? You ever do that? You're like, yeah, so-and-so passed away a couple years ago, and then you check, and it's been like a decade, and you're like, yeah, like I said, a couple years ago. When did he die? When did he pass away? Oh, no, it was literally last year. Yeah, it was last year. Yeah. I had 12 minutes when I was 18 where I was actually kind of hot. Those were a great 12 minutes. You know what's funny? On the Tickety Talk, there's this filter that's trending where it makes you look like what you look like when you were a teenager, and all these women are having like emotional responses to it. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Like, obviously it can't remove my beard. I'm not kidding you. I was like, I look better now. Like, I look back at my high school years and I'm like, there's hope. There's hope out there, folks. Because I definitely look much better now than I did back then. And I know right now I'm a week 7. I was a 4. In high school, I was a 4, brother. So there's hope. There's hope for you 3s and 4s out there. You can have a bit of a glow up, and you can sneak into the 7s, right? With the right lighting and the right outfit, I could probably pass for an 8. So there's hope, okay? There's hope. Lono puts on the filter and he looks exactly the same. This man doesn't age. Yeah. I never would have thought, though, at 42. I am 42. I never would have thought at 42 I'd look back at my high school pictures and be like, I look way better now. Lono, you better start singing, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. That's right. I now have hope. You do. Lono, don't lie. Your personality makes you a 9. Yeah. Poor Sven caught in a crossfire. Catching strays like poor Sven yesterday. Sven didn't even catch strays. Y'all tried to deflect those bullets his direction. Those were not strays. 42, you look 28. Yeah. Well, the gray's coming in. I love it. You can see it right here. I'm getting a streak, and I think it's awesome. I'm getting it in my beard too. The guy that cuts my hair is like, "Oh, you're getting some more gray." I'm like, "I know. I love it." I won't be able to pass for late 20s anymore. Meatloaf is the best safe word because you'll do anything for love, but you won't do that. Vengeance, we're getting a glimpse into the bedroom here. Goddess over here on the Tickety Talk, right? How many times have you said meatloaf this week, Vengeance? Oh, that's good. Meatloaf did one of the best Rocky horror picture shows ever. Very talented. Yo, what's good, Hex? 100 times, Kappa. Whew. 7 times. He already has a count. According to the Bible, gray hair is a sign of wisdom, so you must be smart. Yeah, gray hair is a crown of glory. That's right. Gray hair is a crown of glory. And that's in Proverbs. I'll take it. I sort of fixed broom flight on my Steam Deck. I remapped the right stick and the down, up and down, and the left stick up and down, and now I can fly properly with one stick. Oh man, how do you go up and down? Where did you bind that? Like the bumpers or something? You know what I mean? They're mean on YouTube. I gave up. Sorry, Bellix. Sorry. You got to change that avatar. It would do wonders. You can't come strutting in the room, bombshell style, big old red lipstick and all that. You can't do that. You know, it's. I try to keep a straight face. It's your fault. This is so misogynistic. It's your fault. Oh. What does she say in A Knight's Tale? This beauty is a curse. Oh. I'm just tuning in. Are you doing a cooking stream this weekend? Meatloaf on the menu. Hey! Hey, what's good, Cat? Good to see you. How are you? Oh, man. Just change the camera controls and it makes a huge difference. The camera controls did help me. If you've not done that in Hogwarts Legacy, right? Hogwarts Legacy gameplay dramatically improves when you turn down the acceleration and you turn up the sensitivity. Like, you take acceleration to 0 and you turn sensitivity all the way up. Oh, man, it gets better. I know I'm just jumping on the joke. Is that the only thing you're jumping? Zubair's gonna be like, as your internet attorney, I advise you to stop. I advise you to stop talking. First thing I changed was like, Zubair. Wow. This is one of the things that's my favorite about jokes and stream delay. I know that I've done a very good job if Zubair says wow. If Zubair says wow, I know I've done a good one. I've nailed it. I always throw a joke out and I'm like, I don't know how this one's gonna fare, especially like if it's on the line, like if it's like if it's an incognito race joke. If Zubair says wow, I'm like, nailed it. As your chat attorney, I must advise you that I am no longer representing you. Good luck. There you go. Thanks for that on the motion setting. I feel like I'm getting sick playing Hogwarts. Yeah, I think the second or third day I was playing, somebody's like, bro, turn the acceleration off and turn the sensitivity all the way up. And I was like, all right, let me do it. And it made a huge difference. Huge difference. It felt so much better. I didn't think it felt bad, but it certainly felt real good once I did that. Yeah. It's too late. Stop talking at this point. You're going to overcompensate. Listen, as long as Bellix doesn't wait 2 years and write a twit longer, I'll be fine. We'll be fine. He just, has to agree to not do that, and we'll make it. We'll survive. 2 years ago, I've reevaluated his joke. Wait. I need to rewind for those controls because I have to stop playing. Because I get sick. You turn acceleration down to 0. And you turn sensitivity all the way up. That's it. Yeah, we're like Microsoft. Yeah, 18 months. Yeah, it's got to be within 18 months or it doesn't count. Contractual policy. We void all twit longers past 18 months. That's good. That's good callback. That's very good. I like that. I saw the YouTube video comparisons of Hogwarts Legacy with and without de novo, and there's a 10 to 20 FPS difference when you don't have de novo running. Viking fan, somebody brought that up this morning. That's ridiculous. Shut it off. You know what I mean? Goddess says, bless Bellix for being beautiful. This is content. Yeah. She's taking it in stride. Some people get annoyed by it. I'm sure she does. Eventually, it gets annoying, I'm sure, but she's taking it in stride. It probably disarms quite a bit of it if you just lean into it a bit. I hate look acceleration. It seems like more games have been doing it recently. There's so many settings. Why are we baking in settings? Why? Why are we baking in motion blur? Why do we bake in acceleration? Why do we do all that? I don't get it. Like, who's saying, that's like one of the first things you turn off. Can I turn off film grain? Yes. Film grain? Yes. Motion blur? Yes. Oh, yeah. Movement, acceleration? Yeah. Turn that off. I don't get it. Creature says, listen, man, I just believe in second chances and not ruining someone over minor infractions while leading the charge of destruction against others. That should be a weekly talk show that we do. Welcome back to another episode of Tweets That Lack in Self-Awareness. Today... You could feature that guy like once a week. Once a week. You could be like, all right, he's back. Repeat guest of the show. Excuse me. Oh. One more time. Camera sensitivity down, acceleration up, right? No! No. Camera acceleration all the way down to 0. Camera sensitivity all the way up. There should be presets for the settings so people can pick them from the beginning of the game. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Be right back. I'm going to go change those settings real quick. Yeah, as soon as you do that and you start panning the camera around, you'll be like, oh, I see why people say to do this. Yeah. It's obviously Friday. Focus lost. That's what I'm saying, Kale. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's Friday. It's a disaster. No, it's not. It's fine. Self-awareness is overrated. If someone is mad about what I post, that's on them. I missed the show. Can you recap the entire thing in 30 seconds or less? Kidding, I'll rewatch later. Chapter 8, I'll do it for you. Because it is probably a good time for a recap, right? It's also a good time for us to hit 400 likes on the video. We only need 40 more likes. Smash it. We only need 13 more members. Let's go. All right, here comes the recap. Hogwarts Legacy DLC, I think, has been all but confirmed because the initial comment that at the moment they have no current plans for DLC was clarified by another developer who said there are people out there who still don't have a game in their hands yet, and we don't want to shortchange those folks. He's saying, we can't move on to this yet. We don't want to shortchange people who don't have the game yet. Right? Now, at one level, I think they don't want to shortchange them because I don't think their DLC and future content plans will land on old gen. But then the president of Warner Brothers Games came out and said they view this as a long-term franchise. I think it's because they have plans ongoing. Done. Alex, what the frick is that? No, that works. That's helpful. That's less distracting. It's like when people put Gal Gadot gifts in the chat, in the Discord. That's much better. Everybody can calm down now. Thank you. Golly. Cold shower profile pictures. They work. Long story short, a guy said what another guy said was kind of true, but also kind of BS. He literally, the opening of his tweet, the developer that opened, that clarified, the opening of his tweet, he says, a better way to frame Alan's response to the DLC question is to remember that we've only launched half our SKUs so far. He's like, hey, let me reframe what this guy is saying here. Like, keep in mind, we haven't even launched all of the titles yet. He's saying, yeah, we can't talk about that yet. Like, if you read his full statement, I think it's crystal clear. I do. I think it's crystal clear that he is confirming, yep, DLC's coming. Nope, we can't talk about it yet. 100%. That's what I think. That's how I read it. I don't think I'm reading too much into it. Don't. I saw my mom parking and almost drive the car into the bushes. What? Jiminy Christmas. How? We were sitting outside a relative's house. It was one of my wife's relatives. We were sitting outside, and they were backing down the driveway, and she wasn't using her mirrors. And everyone's like, stop. She backs right into the fence. I don't understand. If you hear people yelling stop, the first thing I'm doing is my foot's hitting the brake. Like, what happened? It's like, there could have been a cat or a kid or something behind the vehicle. Everyone's yelling stop. And she's like, that means I'm right on target. It just kept going. Kept right on going. Well, his mom's probably a woman, so. Oh, Zubair. It's an infection. I've infected everybody. My stepmom has backed into the same tree like 3 times. My dad refuses to cut it down. Yeah, I ain't cutting a tree down. Use your mirrors. Your mirrors never lie. If it was me, I would have sped up. Nah, yelling stop is like making an unblockable attack red first. Red tells you to drive. Excuse me. The tree did nothing wrong. Don't the new cars have cameras and self-driving? Yeah, I don't know how it did. She didn't have like an alarm going off in the car because she slowly touched it. It was like, da-bink. She didn't plow through the fence. You know? So I have no idea. I have no idea how it happened. Oh, Bellix also did it in the Discord. Okay. Full-on combat is feeling equivalent to Sekiro. I couldn't get into it. When I played the demo, it was too fast. It was too fast. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You mean self-driving that's under recall? Between you and 30NSG, I'm officially happy. How's that? I plan on installing an RVC on my 2012. Only going to need to dismantle half the trim in the car to run the wires. Those new car features are annoying and they as help. Oh, but they're great for new drivers. Yeah, I still have to use my mirrors. I can't just go flying back. Can't do it. You know what I mean? Can't do it. What are you doing, Fuzzy? Why would you put that in the Discord? I'm trying to talk here. Anyone doing the Hot Rod Power Tour this year? Since we're on the subject of cars, I don't even know what that is. Lono, even if I don't agree with y'all's opinion, y'all present it in a great way. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, if you guys are still here, I'm going to be gifting 15 members shortly. It might end up being 20. Our second show is going to be my friend 30 and Still Gaming and I discussing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, confirmed to be a live service game. And yeah, going to be a good debate because we want you to come and debate us about it. Yes. Lawrence Bug. No, see, Eugene, that's not fit. No, that's not right. That's not right. You're playing. That's a foul. That is out of bounds. That's out of bounds, man. You can't do that. That one's illegal. That is an illegal use of a GIF. Did you know that there's a quest where if you find him in a certain room, you can go on a date with Sebastian? You can go on a date with Sebastian? Really? Really? There's better ones? No, I disagree. I actually think the first one you used is way better. I think the first one you used is way better. The first GIF is illegal. The second GIF is, is a fireworks display for sure. So, that one I've never heard of. Show your room of requirement, please. Oh, I'm not in the game right now. I can't show you my room of requirement. Yeah. Lono, even if you do mistakenly like Elden Dogwater or Flopside Squad online, only garbage, walks off, jabbiting like an old man. Elden Dogwater? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Trying to balance it out, Kale? You trying to balance it out? Okay, that's fine. We're having an animated GIF competition in the chat. That's fine. All right, 30 is ready. 30 is ready. Yeah, why is she doing that, Eugene? Why does that GIF even exist? You guys are awful. You're all terrible. You're all going to hell. All right, hang on. I got to get Mike on the line. I forgot to make the thing. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hang on. Doom. Let me change this. Oh, that's good. That'll work. Boom, boom. Okay. I gotta exit Steam. I gotta open Discord. He says, I'm ready. Creature says, you're the only one. Oh, frickin', Alright, I gotta set this up, and I need my phone to do it. If you guys are watching on the Tickety Talk, I'm setting up a talk show with my man 30 and So Gaming. We're gonna be debating Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This game is live service. People are not happy about it. Head to the link on my profile. Go to my profile, click on Reforge Gaming, come to YouTube and watch us. We're going to be doing a talk show over there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do a single thing. But I need my phone. I need my phone. Because I need to be able to log in to Discord. Why do I have so many frickin' messages? What is that? Bam. Scan that. And boom. Yes, log me in. Yes, start talking. Okay. And start the video call. That is so loud. I'm so sorry, everybody. Here, I'm going to mute it. Let me go into streamer mode. Okay. Say something, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I had a problem with my microphone last night for our podcast, so I didn't know if it was going to work in Discord.
You are a little... Okay.
Too low?
A little bit, but I fixed it. I can fix it in OBS as well. Okay. All right. I wanted to have the trailer for this show. So we could periodically have it up on screen while we're talking. Oh no, I was like, it's not giving me predictive text.
Something just happened with Discord. Something just kicked in. You can still hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right.
Okay, DC should have the official. Oh my gosh. Let me mute Google Chrome. Wait, where's the official trailer is not on DC, but they have some guy talking about it? Okay. I'll search for gameplay. I don't want to watch it on IGN. They put their freaking crap everywhere. I got it. It's on PlayStation.
All right, I was going to say it. I can get you a link.
All right, turn off annotations, turn it on 1080, loop it, and there we go. Okay, so let me go here. Oh, that's right, Doc Dark's not here. Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this.
Levels to it.
Right.
I started watching some of his stuff. It's good.
Yeah. His vids are good. Like you can see why people like him.
If you're going to leave me in that spot, I'm going to have to go change shirts. I got to go get a tank top.
No, you're good. You're good. And drag you over here. I think this is the right one that we've been using. I don't know. I have so many old ones that we don't use anymore. Okay. All right. Sorry, Lono, been absent lately. Got a better job. Yo, what's good, Sean? Mike, can you see me right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not being...
Your LED lights behind you in that corner are blinding me, but yeah, I can see you.
Oh, yeah, I always turn those off for this show. Because it messes with the camera. Let's go up here. And we're going to build a scene really quickly, chat. It's going to be super rough. All right. Image.
I'm seeing a lot of it's like 50-50 right now. The people that don't like Suicide Squad or people that like Suicide Squad. A lot of hate going on, but a lot of love too.
Where the frick does it put? Yeah, it's split. Did you catch my thoughts on DLC for Hogwarts today?
I did not.
Okay. Do you think they're gonna do DLC?
Oh, for sure. I made a short last week when they first came out and said there was no DLC coming. And I'm in my short, I said there's 100% DLC coming. I said the reason there's not DLC being announced is because they're waiting for the other systems. And then I think 4 days later, they said they're waiting for the other systems. So,
yep,
yeah, there's no way that I said not only are they making DLC, but this is a trilogy, right? This game is a trilogy in the making.
You think they're gonna do 3 games?
Oh, for sure. That's one of the reasons I think they started in year 5. So you would do year 5, 6, and 7. Or they could do year 5, year 7, and then maybe like after you graduate or something.
I gotta go over to you.
People told me I was crazy that the game wouldn't sell more than I said it would sell between 12 and 15 million opening week is what I said, like the first week. So it was 2 weeks. But I want to know what that number is because they said it was 12 million units in 2 weeks, but I bet you 10 million of that was pre-ordered.
Yeah, I think it's going to be commercially, I think it's the most successful game of the year. And then I had people saying they think that Diablo will be more commercially successful than it. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but I still think Diablo is second place commercially this year.
No way, because, well, before I say no way, is Diablo 4 going to be on old gen?
That was the question I had this morning, and I could not remember.
If it's on all gens, then I would say maybe. But if it's only on next gen, no way.
No, yeah, it's going to be on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Just no Switch, as far as I can tell. No Switch
yet. Well, then there's a possibility then that would be really good sales for them as well. But if they were missing, I mean, PlayStation's such a huge platform. There's like 140 million PlayStation 4s out there.
Yeah.
Alone, just PlayStation selling Hogwarts for PlayStation 4 could outsell everything that's in the new gen alone.
I think the hard thing that Diablo is going to have with Hogwarts is Hogwarts has Harry Potter in its corner, and there are people buying Hogwarts that don't play video games and don't buy video games. Like Diablo is appealing to an existing gamer market, so I think that's going to be that's where the true challenge I think will be for Diablo to overtake it.
Yeah.
All right, give me a sentence. I want to make sure you're coming through loud enough.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. Looking forward to talking about Suicide Squads.
I'm going to give you a slight gain. Okay. Grandmas are playing Hogwarts Legacy? Yeah, exactly. Sold 12 million its first year on PC alone. Diablo 3 sold 3.5 million copies day one on PC alone. Yeah, but again, the question would be, Eugene, does Diablo have that same commercial pull on consoles? Hogwarts has commercial pull everywhere it's landing. I don't know if you can say that about Diablo. Diablo has crazy pull on PC. I don't know if Diablo has the same commercial pull on consoles that Hogwarts has. I just don't know. Old gen's really going to be a test as well. Like, Hogwarts is setting records, and it's only PC next gen. Like, that's really impressive. There are games that sold on more platforms that didn't do as well as this. Like, I don't know, Elden Ring. It crushed Elden Ring, and Elden Ring was everywhere. So, except for Switch. All right, talk to him, Mike. I'm going to take a quick break before we start the stream.
All right. So, chat, what do you guys think of what's your 30,000 feet take on Suicide Squad when you saw it? Did you like the gameplay? Did you like the gameplay? Did you not like the gameplay? I kind of like I don't like the art style of the characters, but I like the art style of the game itself, right? If that makes sense. I think, and I'll get more to this in the show, I don't like the character model of the females in Suicide Squad. Like, Wonder Woman's supposed to be this amazing looking, Amazon woman, and she's missing that amazing looking part. P. Grim says day one buy for Diablo or day one buy for Suicide Squad? What am I referring to? What do you mean? Unless it's 30 frames per second, super buggy. Now, they say that the frequently asked questions section on their website says they're shooting. They're shooting for 60 frames per second. I just hope it doesn't go the way of the other games in the past. The free content's got me worried. Oh, here's Travis. Travis is in this channel, still complaining about the online stuff. Let it go, Travis. What's your opinion on the lack of combat variation, by the way? Well, we didn't really see a lot of the combat. They showed King Shark doing. They said he's more melee based, right? We really didn't see much. Obviously, they all have guns, right? But we don't know what the melee aspects are. I don't know. I mean, it's like complaining about the different variations of Destiny. All the characters, Titan, Warlock, and Hunter, are basically the same, but with different special abilities. We don't know what those special abilities are yet for the characters in Suicide Squad. So I don't want to say the combat variations are not varied. Yeah, Jeeves, I think right now the goodwill that Rocksteady has is what's driving it for me. It's always the bad part though about the live service aspect, right? No matter who's doing it, live service is always someone's first time doing it, and are they going to do it correctly? That's my concerns.
All right, I owe these guys 15 members.
Yeah, Jones, it's co-op multiplayer, solo or co-op. It's got to be online, always online.
Garfield coming out June 29th. No, they already came out and said that date wasn't real. That the company itself that had the placeholder said it's not real. Yeah, do you think this game's gonna have untethered co-op?
Only at 30 frames though. Only at 30 frames.
There you go, guys. There's 10 members that I owed you. Don't forget, we're doing a PSVR 2 members-only stream tonight with my wife. It's going to be hilarious. I'm going to do 5 more now because I'll forget. I said the other day I would do it at the end of the show with Mike, and I completely forgot.
Brandon, there is no split screen for this game either. There's no couch co-op. It's only online.
That's fine. I got two different PS5s.
All right. Crossplay, though. Crossplay.
My wife and I play Hogwarts that way. Like, obviously, we're not playing together.
Right. I'm doing my second playthrough with Slytherin right now.
Okay. Let me send this tweet, and then we will get into this.
Yes, online will be required for single player. It's online all the time. Has to be online.
That'll probably be where the focal point of the rage goes today.
Yeah. I don't miss that time, Brandon, where I had to move in college, I had a 42-inch old school television, like a tube television. And I had to move that from my house to my friend's house so we could have LAN parties. We needed 3 fully grown men to pick up the television. It weighed a ton, and try to wedge it in the car to move it. It was just such a pain. Now you're like iPad, flat screen TV, and you don't even have to do that because there is no couch co-op anymore, right? There is no, like...
Yep. All right, guys. There's a link in chat. It's far more effective to click the link in chat. We will redirect you to the next stream. Mike and I are going to be debating Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League live service debate. We want you to be a part of the debate. We will interact with chat. Make sure when you go over, you smash the like button. Likes are extremely important for a new stream because we're going to take a bunch of you with us, and then the ratio to viewers, if it's bad, YouTube will be like, yeah, this video is underperforming. So make sure when you go over there, you smash the like, be contributing to the conversation. I will redirect you. All right, we're going to sit here and be silent for like a second, and then I'm going to immediately launch into it. Members, make sure you get into the Discord, especially new members, so that way you don't miss the stream tonight. And bring the heat over there. We will definitely be pulling your comments out for this debate. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. This is going to be another weekly segment with my man 30 and Still Gaming, where we actually have a debate with chat, maybe between each other, about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League live service debate. They've confirmed it will be live service, ongoing content, battle pass, new characters, but they have also confirmed you will need to always be online, even if you're playing by yourself. So people are upset about all of it, or some of it, or none of it. Let's discuss it. We'll debate it. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thanks for having me. Love being here.
I'm going to end the previous stream where we talked about Hogwarts Legacy DLC.